Okay, today we have pho bo, Vietnamese style instant rice noodles, beef flavor from Vifon, I think, for today since 1963. Okay, I've never had this before. I'm quite excited. I really love pho, as I'm sure most noodle lovers do as well. And I genuinely have eaten probably thousands of instant pho noodles, but I've never tried this one. So this is going to be a unique experience for me. I think I did have something else from them at one point in the past from this brand, but yeah, I can't recall now. Must have been a long time ago. But yeah, I'm excited for this. This costs 75 pence. So definitely on the sort of cheaper end, but I think all of these rice noodle pho instant ones are all generally at that sort of cheaper end of the spectrum. So yeah, we'll find out if this is good value or not. So yeah, we'll have to just see where we go with this. For me, this packaging is not amazing. Not a fan of this pretty much in any way. I think the serving suggestion looks really appealing, but everything else about the branding, like even the color palette, it just doesn't go. I don't think it's amazing, if I'm honest. And you know, this might be why I've always reached for other pho bo instant packets from the shelf, like the Mama one, which I really like, the Mr. Ricey one, which I like as well. I've never reached for this one before, and that's probably why. I think it's the packaging. But we'll try not to judge a book by its cover. And yeah, we'll have a little look and see what the calories and ingredients are like. Okay, amazing. This is one of the ones that actually tells you immediately how many calories there are per serving. So there's one serving here and it's 210 calories. This is something else that I've noticed. These instant pho noodles are always really low calorie. So, you know, I'm guessing these are key to a healthy lifestyle. I have no idea. Interestingly, it says Vietnamese style instant rice noodles beef flavor pho bo, but it is actually a Vietnamese company from the looks of it. And it definitely says made in Vietnam on the bottom. So I don't know why they say Vietnamese style. It's actually Vietnamese. Let's have a look at the ingredients here and see if there's anything interesting. So I'm going to ignore the noodles. It's the soup base I'm interested in here. Yeah, salt, sugar, blah, blah, blah. Dried vegetable, green onion and coriander in the dried vegetable. And spices is where it gets interesting. Ginger, shallot, cinnamon, anise, and pepper, and some artificial beef flavor. Okay, it's all about the spices with pho, and it's good to see, you know, star anise and cinnamon in there, and yeah, shallot. So I'm really hoping that this is reminiscent of classic pho flavors. And I don't know why I looked at that one for the ingredients, because they're in English up here, and I never noticed that. So that would have been a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm excited to open this up and see what's inside. Ah, shrink wrapped. Okay. And in addition to the soup base, we have a mystery packet of what I can only imagine is some type of fat. I don't recall seeing that in here. That's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they just include everything together. So the second ingredient out of the seasoning is refined palm oil, and maybe, you know, that's where the majority of it went. So yeah, who knows? But pretty similar to other instant pho noodles that I've eaten in the past, to have a little packet of essentially fat, nice tasting fat. Okay, let's open this shrink wrap. Good to see some proper pho noodles and really good thickness actually on them. That's like, I probably couldn't ask for a better noodle if I was going to make some instant pho. I think that looks really good. Okay, and let's see what's inside this. Okay. Okay, I'm definitely smelling some artificial beef flavor there. I'm instantly getting some of those aromatics whenever I smell that. It's too complex for me to be able to pick out exactly what aromatics I'm smelling, but it is very reminiscent of pho, which is a good sign at this stage. I'll open this as well. This mystery packet. Okay. Woo. Whoa, that smells very chemically. Oddly, it smells a little bit like it looks. It's that sort of fluorescent yellow kind of color, and it smells like a highlighter pen. The sort of smell that you get from that. But the only other thing I'm getting other than really strong chemicals is a little bit of chicken. That's what that smells like to me. So maybe that's some sort of, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's chicken flavor in there. I don't know. Guess we'll just have to cook it up and find out. So yeah, I think that's us. One thing I forgot to check was the cooking instructions. I hope I can find this easily enough because I didn't spot it on the back there. Yeah, I can't see it. So it might be sitting underneath this thing, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to peel off. Yeah. So I might have to just do a little bit of research and find out how to cook it up and then see where we get to. Okay, I think I've found it. I don't know if you can see the instructions are in there. I'm just going to have to try and read it backwards to try and work out what the cooking method is. But it looks like dump all of the packets in with the noodles, pour in 400 milliliters of boiling water and cover over, wait for 3 minutes. And then the last little bit is just saying, open the lid, stir well before serving. Right, so that actually is really, really easy. 400 mils of boiling water in 3 minutes. Okay, let's cook it up. Okay, now don't judge. I'm just gonna do what I always do. It's the best way to get it out of this silly thing. Okay, I just need to cover this up and wait for 3 minutes. It smells amazing already. Okay. Time's up. Moment of truth. That actually looks pretty good. Yeah, the noodles look cooked. Yeah. I love these clear soups that you get. They're so refreshing and light feeling. You know, I know this is low calorie. It's going to be really light. I'm hoping it tastes amazing. There's a couple of little bits of sort of rehydrated beef or something similar in there, which look really interesting. We'll see what they're like. I'm just going to smell this now because pho is all about the aromatics. Yeah, there's still a little bit of a chemically smell that I'm getting there. And I know it's from that fluorescent oil on top. I'm not sure if that's going to translate into the actual taste though, so yeah, we'll soon find out. Let's taste the broth. Nice and salty. It's definitely a little bit sort of chickeny. Loads of those aromatics. You can really, it's very, very reminiscent of pho. Really nice. You'll be pleased to know that I'm not getting any chemicals when I taste it. It's just like really meaty sort of chicken stock, but with all of those sort of aromatics that just remind you of pho. You know, it's all about the sort of ginger and star anise. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing compared to the real deal, you know, but as far as an instant goes, it's really hard to argue with that. It's everything that I was kind of hoping for, really. Beautiful. I could drink that all day, honestly. Really nice. Let's have a look at these noodles again. They look really good. I'm really impressed by how quickly they cooked. I'm really hoping that it's soaked up all of that lovely flavour. Right, let's give it a go. Some of those bits of green onion have not rehydrated properly in that time. Too chunky. I'm chewing on it. But the noodles, good. Yeah, the noodles they just carry the broth really up to your mouth. The noodles themselves don't really have much flavour, but that's kind of okay. rice noodles aren't known for their extremely strong flavour. Not really much bite or chew to the noodles, but again, that's not what I'm looking for with, pho noodles like this. It's a different type of mouthfeel that I'm looking for than, with normal ramen. Let's try one of these bits of rehydrated beef. That actually looks real. I'm going to guess that that's real. Actually, kind of tastes real. It definitely looks real, and the texture is very real. Yeah. Quite impressed by those 2 little dehydrated chunks. Yeah, you can definitely tell that it's got some of those pho spices in it, but you know that it's instant, you know that it's not a real one. I'm hoping that all the flavour has just sunk to the bottom here, and as I drink this is going to really, really taste strong. It's nice, there's no heat in this at all, so this is, pretty authentic in that regard. Some of the other ones, if you dump everything in the packet in, even without the chili, it's spicy for some reason. I'm really struggling to pick out any one aromatic flavour, but I just know that the combination of aromatics in there, it really reminds you of pho. It is reminiscent. So I wouldn't be disappointed if I opened that expecting it to taste like pho. That's kind of what I'm getting. Very nice, but I have to say I just got a chunk of onion there at the end to chew on. That's all I can taste now. But that broth was really nice. Overall, it's all about the broth really with pho. Like, I'm happy to forgive the packaging not being amazing. I'm happy to sort of, I'm happy with the rice noodles. Pho rice noodles are pho rice noodles really, especially when it's instant. I was never expecting them to be particularly chewy or bouncy. So I'm happy with them. That broth, it really was quite chickeny. If I had to close my eyes and guess what flavour it was, I would have said it was the pho ga rather than the pho bo, if you know what I mean. The chicken one rather than the beef one. But certainly the little beef chunks were really good. And the overall flavour was really probably one of the most authentic type flavours of pho that I've had from an instant noodle. So that was actually okay. So if I just think about the overall just summary for this, 75p for that noodle. The quality was pretty good. I've had a lot of different types of pho instant noodles, and that was right up there. That was good. I would get that again, definitely. As for how often I would get it, I'm not sure if this would replace... There's something about the ones that I usually go for that are just so light. I would go for the Mama and the Mr. Ricey ones, and I could have them every day, honestly, for the rest of my life. I don't feel that with this one. I think I could have this once a week, but there was something about, I think there's a few things that would put me off there. That was very chickeny. There was a lot of oil floating on the top, and that just didn't seem as light as some of the other ones. Now, you might be into that. That might be what you're looking for, in which case definitely try it. It's only 75p, so it's not going to break the bank, but I just can't see myself getting that extremely frequently. I also have to think about, is this special? So is there something about this that separates it from everything else that's out there? And I think whilst the flavors were pretty authentic and probably the closest, the overall experience was pretty average, I think, from a packaging through to noodle quality, through to flake quality and everything else. So I think for me, whilst I would be able to have this quite frequently, once a week, that type of thing, I think everything about this is pretty average, I would say, for an instant pho noodle. So for me, in terms of a rating, this is right in there with things like the Nong Shim Soon or the Noguri. This would be a 3 out of 5 for me.